What's going on, everybody? It's Super Span here, back with another podcast, video slash whatever you want to call it, with Julian Sanchez, the GOAT. Say what's up, Julian.
What's up? What's up,
All right.
everybody? How you doing?
So we had a pretty exciting second round here. We'll get right into it. First thing we wanted to talk about was the Celtics and 76ers. Julian, I mean, God, like Jason Tatum had a few phenomenal games, but I know I said it before. This Celtics team looks insane. Like they have such, in my opinion, they have an extremely well-rounded, deep team. Uh, Jason Tatum is the man there. We were talking about it yesterday. With Jalen Brown, he's obviously getting better and better each year alongside Tatum. But like Tatum had that 50-point game to close out the series and just I mean, you look at their stat line through each game, it seems like at least 5, 6, 7 guys on the Celtics are scoring double figures. Um Embiid, I mean, he had some solid games. He missed the first game there. But I don't know, man. I'm not too surprised. We're not. You and I were both talking about it that we're not surprised the Celtics won this series.
Yeah, since 2018, the Celtics have owned the 76ers.
Mm,
Horford has owned Embiid. Now, this series, I mean, it's crazy because you have the reigning MVP now in Joel Embiid, which personally to me, I don't think he ever deserved that MVP. The real MVP is in Denver. Like he is killing it. So
yeah,
for being a reigning MVP, he didn't show up. He didn't show up at all this playoff series. The Celtics just get in his head somehow. Then James Harden did James Harden things like he did. He went throwback version of himself of Houston,
yeah.
in game one. And I believe the second game they won, game four, Harden had like what was it, 40 points, another 40-point game or something like that, and the
I
game
believe you're
winner.
right. Yeah,
So yeah, so they looked dominant when they wanted to show up, but then game six happens. They had all the momentum in the world in game six. Then suddenly they just went flat. James Harden
yeah,
just disappeared. Joel Embiid just didn't look like he wanted to be there and just looked really, really tired at times, as if like Horford really got into his head or he really shut him down, which he did too. Like there was times where Embiid was trying to get to the basket, getting just swatted away by Horford.
yeah.
And again, Doc Rivers being in a position to close out a series just cannot do it somehow. Two chances actually, game six and game seven. This man lost 10 game sevens in the last, I don't know how long he's been a coach now, like 16 years maybe total. His first tenure with Orlando blew a 3-1 lead. Then then in the finals, I think they blew a lead in the finals against the Lakers in 2010. Then the infamous 3-1 lead in the bubble. Like it's just you can list a lot of blown leads in Doc Rivers' resume. The blown 3-1 lead and I think it's was it 3-1 and 3-2 in 2015 against the Rockets. Like
Mm,
it was time for him to go. Like if you can't get it done with the reigning MVP, like it was time to cut bait regardless. Like I think the only way to save his job was to make it to the conference finals or make it to the finals. Couldn't get it done. Let's see what happens. I heard James Harden wouldn't play for Doc Rivers, and they got him fired. But is that really the case, or does he just not want to play in Philly anymore? So we'll see what happens in the summer. You know, Godspeed for the Sixers. Feel bad for the
yeah,
fan base. They're right back where they've been 10 years ago when they started the process. Second round and out, and they've been second round and out the last 4 years.
yeah. I mean, they messed up. First of all, not keeping Jimmy Butler. uh, giving all that money to Tobias Harris. But I mean, man, like all the great teams that Doc Rivers has coached, it just, I've been a Doc Rivers apologist for a while, but I mean, the writing's on the wall now, you know? Um, he had the championship in '08, and that's sort of been his claim to fame ever since, you know? He gets to coach all these phenomenal stacked teams, and he can barely bring them to the Eastern Conference Finals. If that. I mean, how many times we were just talking about has he been eliminated in the second round? And with James Harden, I mean, I know he's taken a big step back in terms of scoring, but it just seems like it just doesn't feel right. Him not scoring 30 points every game. I know they have the MVP in Joel Embiid, and Harden sort of took a step back and changed his play style a little bit, but it's just weird for me to see. I agree that the Sixers, who knows? I don't think they're doomed, but I mean, I don't think they're in as good a position as they were, say, a year, 2 years ago, or even even this year. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, James Harden might leave. What are you going to do with him? I mean, I don't know how many years Tobias Harris has left on his contract, but I mean, he's not what he was when they gave him the contract. He's a good player, don't get me wrong, but for him to be, if James Harden leaves, let's say James Harden leaves and they don't have a legitimate second option or third option or whatever, you got Embiid as your first option, and then Tyrese Maxey, who's really good. I really like Tyrese Maxey. Um, but then after that, it's like what? You got Tobias Harris? Like that's
I
not a championship
I
level
mean,
team.
when you got a center like Embiid and his skill set, oh man, it's just you can find shooters, you can find pick and roll point guards that can
Yeah.
it's all about a system at that point. When you got a big like Embiid status MVP, like you, everything's gonna run through him regardless, and especially as such a multi-dimensional big man as he is, he can pass, he can shoot out from the outside, he can shoot off the dribble. Like he has a variety of ways to score, and he's a
Dominant.
defensive beast. So
Yeah.
like to me, it's more so personnel. I think in my opinion, he doesn't need to be playing with another superstar. He needs to be playing with a deep ass squad, or at least
Yeah.
like a superstar that knows, like, nah, dude, you're the one who's supposed to take over. Like that's why, like earlier, like you said, like Jimmy was the perfect complement to Embiid. Like every all the media looks at Jimmy as like, he's not really a superstar player, even though he is.
Oh
So if
yeah,
you
he is.
had you pair him up next to Embiid, it would have like taken that, like, oh, Jimmy's not a superstar status, to like he is the perfect sidekick to Embiid. Even
Hmm.
though realistically, like Embiid just needs another dog with him.
Yeah.
And like surround like, but like other than that, if you just surround Embiid with shooters and a playmaker, like I think you're set, dude. You got to get a coach that just knows how to build a team, or get like run a team organically, in terms of like, this is how you play basketball. That's why Phil Jackson, in my opinion, was such a freaking genius, and Greg Popovich, which shout out to him. He got another generational center.
And shout out to Spurs fans in general, man. They've got it made. They only had to endure what?
four
How
years
many
of
years?
It was
Yeah.
4 years without being in the playoffs, and they get rewarded in one tank year. They tank 1 year and they get the generational center. The
Yeah.
Bulls tank for like five, and we only get seven, seven picks and one fourth.
Yeah.
Like,
We're
sucks.
hoping that
Anyways,
Pat
let's
will
not get in a rant.
pans out. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, we're gonna
The
move
other
on
East,
here.
the other East semifinal game was Miami and New York, which
Yep.
was the improbable eighth seed going up against the fifth seed. Both teams were underdogs in their last series, and now these two are head to head. Another rivalry game they wanted to hype it up as, but nah.
Yeah. I mean, playoff Jimmy is a real thing, even though he continues to deny it. Like, that's what I love about Jimmy Butler, and like every time we bring him up, I have to mention, it still am a huge Derrick Rose apologist fan, whatever in general. And when Jimmy started to take over the team, it's like, you hear the rumors that he's kind of a jerk and all that stuff, which turns out those are just rumors. And this guy is a freaking megastar and can take you to the promised land as long as you build around him, Garpax. Absolutely super happy for Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat. I can honestly see them taking the Celtics. I really can. Like I you just you just got the experience with Jimmy Butler. I know he hasn't really made it to the finals that much, but like the way he's been playing, it's you can't count him out. You really can. I mean, I think they're the best 8th seed of all time. They made it to the
Yeah,
Eastern Conference Finals, which is amazing.
make it back to back seasons and making it to the conference finals. So
Mhm.
not only is playoff Jimmy just phenomenal, but it's rubbing off on his teammates too. Kevin Love is playing amazing, dude. He is just shooting the rock. It is going in for him. Bam Adebayo is stepping up. Kyle Lowry's looking like himself again. He's looking healthy. He's hitting shots like Duncan Robinson, who was out of the rotation in the season. Now he's getting
Right.
some run because he's making shots. Now they got the potential since they made it this far into the NBA playoffs. They might get Tyler Hero back, which is
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, the Heat peaked, not peaked, but they got hot at the right time. They brought the heat, no pun intended, at the right time. And it shows. Like, what other eight seed runs through the Milwaukee Bucks like that, 4 games to 1?
Right.
What other eight seed runs through the second round? Usually the Cinderella run ends at the second round, but nah, they were very dominant against the New York Knicks. Which the New York Knicks, credit to them, dude. They were hard nosed. You know how Tibbs coaches
Yeah.
his teams. They were very hard nosed. It was a very physical series, Miami Heat and the Knicks. Um, credit to the Knicks, but also you gotta where there comes the good, comes the bad. And Julius Randle, sheesh, oof, he is god awful. Like, he is
Yeah.
not ready for that playoff moment, especially if you're playing in New York. Man, you got to have some tough skin to play there, dude. And deal with
Yeah.
that New York media. And if you screw up once in any playoff game, I've seen all the Stephen A. Smith rants. He wants him gone from New York. That's how bad he played.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
it's crazy. And Jalen Brunson, boy, bucket. He was the MVP for the Knicks this season.
I'm happy that he had the season that he did because I
Mm-hmm.
mean, talk about a screw up from the Dallas Mavericks standpoint. I mean, this dude I honestly I didn't know what to sort of peg him as, if he was going to be a star for the Knicks or if he was just going to be a really good role player. Um, but it turns out his growth on the Dallas Mavericks wasn't a fluke. Not that anybody was saying that it was, but he just keeps getting better and better, and I'm super happy for him. I never thought I'd say I'd be happy for Knicks fans or whatever, but the future there, it seems bright, except for Julius Randle. You gotta get rid of him. I mean, he's a good player, but not a playoff like star. Not he's not a star, not a number one option. Like he's got to be a number 2 or 3 option, similar to like guys like maybe Chris Bosh or Kevin Love on the, when he was with the Cavs and stuff like that, like a really good support piece, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But I mean, yeah, I'm not surprised at all that the Heat got away with this series, and I'm happy for guys like Duncan Robinson. Hopefully they can get Tyler Hero back soon. And obviously shout out to Jimmy Butler for being just an absolute menace So super happy for him, man. I really hope
Yeah,
that and I think that they can make it to the finals this year. So I guess time will tell with that. But
I can see that happening. And to piggyback on the Dallas Mavericks, the Dallas Mavericks had a chance to extend this man.
yeah.
They had a deadline to extend him, and they decided, nah, you know what? We're gonna wait till the end of the season to see how much money like you're worth,
Yeah.
essentially, because they thought like everybody else thought like, nah, he's not really worth that much. But then he has his playoff run, which screwed the Mavericks over because now they have to pay him more money,
Yeah.
which in turn made him walk from the Mavericks to go to New York for the money he wanted. So it's I don't know. Mark Cuban is a really smart businessman, supposedly, but how is he on Shark Tank? He's really made some bad investments.
Yeah. Right. Oh, yeah. I do not envy Mavericks fans. I can definitely see Luca leaving. Um, but yeah, another video for another day. But
All right.
next one I wanted to talk about was the Nuggets and the Suns. I mean, look, the Suns had a very rocky season, and then they ended up trading for Kevin Durant, obviously. Well, then they run into the Joker in the second round of the playoffs here, and the Joker is just too much, man. He's an
Hmm.
absolute menace. And the Nuggets, they are just such a phenomenal, fun team to watch. Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., we talked about Jokic. They're just I don't know. They seem unstoppable at this point. It's that's really all you could say. I mean, the creativity and just the all-around skill and knowledge of the game that Joker provides, nobody can match that, you know? It's just absolutely awesome to watch. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not surprised that the Nuggets beat the Suns. I wouldn't have been surprised if the Suns heated up and beat the Nuggets, but you know what? Jokic is that guy. He's the type of guy that you want on your team to push you to the promised land. I could really see them winning the NBA finals this season. Who knows how it's gonna go. I really I think they got a great matchup against the Lakers, if I I don't see anybody stopping Jokic. Just don't.
Man. So the Nuggets, the last 2 years, Jokic MVP, but he got bounced in the playoffs twice in those 2 years in his MVP season. The first year, got swept by the Suns, but he had no Jamal Murray. The
Yeah.
following season, he got bounced in the second round again, but he didn't have Jamal Murray or Michael Porter Jr. This season, he doesn't win the MVP, but now he has his team fully intact and healthy. He no longer has Austin Rivers and Campazzo to rely on now.
Yeah.
Like he has talent around him. And look where it got them. It got them to the West Finals after this series. I said it in the last video that the Nuggets are just from the bench to the starting lineup, they're a complete team.
Oh
And
yeah.
and at the Suns, they're too top heavy. Like they have to
Yeah.
rely on Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. And I think I believe we mentioned that if even Chris Paul goes down or like DeAndre Ayton doesn't show up, they have no chance because
Right.
they can't just rely on Durant and Booker, which granted it won them two playoff games. Like they both were able to pull off two wins in that playoff series. But again, it just wasn't enough to hold them off because how is it that you have two lethal scorers on your squad on your bench or on your squad, I mean, but yet in the closeout game, let's see here, they got destroyed by 25 points. And it wasn't even close because they were up by
Yeah.
30 at one point. So yeah, and Nuggets fever. I was just recently in Denver, Colorado this past weekend, and let me tell you, it is hyped over there, man. It is crazy.
That's awesome.
Like it's incredible because they're a small market NBA team. Um, never, I don't think they've ever made it this far in terms of being like the number one seed, you know, like
Mm,
they've never been a number one seed. They never been they never I don't think they've hosted a game one Western Conference final game ever.
wow.
And like they've been in it, but they've never hosted a game one, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
They were always the lower seed. Like, cause I remember when Melo and that squad made it to the West Finals, the Lakers were the number one seed that year. And like this is just like their chance. This is their chance. This is Denver's chance. Like
Yeah.
they might win it all this year, especially since you got the best center in the game. Like who's gonna guard him in the coming out of the East? Who's gonna guard in Boston? Who's gonna guard him? He
Right.
Miami. Who's gonna guard him? Like they have nobody to guard him. You know,
Yeah.
he is just like
And
man.
and even if they focus on him, they double him, he could just kick it out. He's got shooters. He's got scorers.
Jamal
Yeah.
Murray is deadly, bro.
Dog. Dog. That's an
Yes,
absolute dog right there.
yes.
So,
Easy 50 points out of nowhere too.
yeah. Yeah. He could
Michael
do it
Porter
all,
as
man.
well. Michael Porter as well. He can go off for 15 points in a quarter. Nine the
Yeah.
3 for 3 from 3 point land. Like he has talent around him to do it. I believe the Nuggets will make the finals and I believe they will win it all.
They
but what
certainly can, no
but we'll
doubt.
but there we have to wait and see, you know. This is only the
Yeah.
second round review. This is not the fortune teller review.
Yeah. So, with that being said, we got the last one
Oh,
to talk about was the Warriors and the Lakers series. I mean, wow. I thought the Warriors were gonna win this thing. I really thought they were gonna beat the Lakers, but the Lakers were the hotter team. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Steph Curry was doing everything for the Warriors, not getting a whole lot of help. Jordan Poole is about as mid as they come, if you ask me. He can heat up, but I don't envy a team that's gonna have to. I don't know. Is he a free agent this year? Do you know?
who is?
Poole.
No, they just re-signed him.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're
Yeah,
right.
they gave him his
So
extension. Yeah,
man, I mean, I
I
don't
mean,
know. I feel
there will be a team that would want him. He's 23 years old. I mean,
yeah.
it's more so maturity at this point because, like, I mean, I could see not to sound like a jerk or anything, but I could see why Draymond Green punched him in the face
Yeah.
because from all the reports I was reading on Bleacher Report and on ESPN and The Athletic, they were all saying all the Warriors players were mentioning how Jordan Poole's attitude changed once he got his extension, and that like Draymond Green was like bringing him down to earth at that argument, and of course Jordan Poole said something slick probably, and
Yeah, I believe he
you know what I'm
said, "All right,
saying,
Mister Triple Single or Quadruple Single or something." That's a
something
rumor
like
that I heard.
that,
I don't think it's true.
right?
I doubt it, but who knows, man? I
But it
mean,
came, but it came to bite him in the you know what? Because
yeah,
Jordan Poole just did not show up. Like that didn't it didn't justify the contract signing now. Now, as for the Warriors, they man, Steph Curry is Steph Curry, dude. Like that's crazy. But at the same time, the man needs help.
yeah,
Like at the very least, like you had a you had last season at least you had Otto Porter helping you. You had who was the other role players on that team? You had you had Iguodala helping at some point, but this season you relied on the young guys, and that was a mistake in my opinion.
yeah,
Like for as high a value as Jordan Poole had, he could have gotten you a lot more. And then they gave up on James Wiseman, which was justifiable because I mean he just wasn't part of their plan, which is
yeah.
crazy. So I mean, people are saying blow up the Warriors after this series, uh, but I say nah. Why would you like?
I don't know about that.
Nah, you wouldn't. Why would you keep the three intact? You keep them all intact, and you just surround them with better talents.
Yeah,
That's all you need to do. Like, stop trying to rebuild while still trying to win. Like it worked last year because everybody just clicked at the right moment. This season, like they couldn't even win a road game this season. So like
right.
they
Which was
definitely
absolutely crazy.
they definitely needed more veteran presence in that locker room. Like it felt like it felt like Draymond, Clay, and Steph were just babysitting the rest of the team
Right.
while trying to show them how to win. Because there was a lot of heated arguments during that series too, where you saw Steph yelling at his bench. You saw like Jordan Poole just like ignoring the other people on the bench. Just a lot of craziness going on. They got to figure stuff out over there.
Yeah,
And for
definitely.
man, the Lakers though, let's get into this Laker love right now because I had them doubted the entire time, man. Like
Yeah, me
the way
too.
the way they started, what like 2-19, 2-18, 2-10. I don't know what the hell it was,
It
but
was something bad.
they started out so bad to the point where we were mocking them, saying like, "Holy crap, New Orleans is about to get New Orleans is about to is
Yeah, that's
New Orleans
right.
New Orleans is the number one seed in the West. They're the best team in the West, and on top of that, they're about to get the Lakers' top unprotected pick because they suck so bad and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Wow, how much things change in the inverse? Because once Zion left, boom, just free fall for the Pelicans, and once that trade went down for the Lakers, they went up just enough to get into the playoffs. And look at them
Yeah.
now, West Finals. And you know what? Not even LeBron. It wasn't even all LeBron. Surprisingly enough, the glass man himself, the man with many bandages, Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, dude,
Yeah.
this man stepped up in two playoff series, and I called it too. I called it because I was like, who on the Warriors is going to guard Anthony Davis? You had, I mean,
Right. Yeah.
Draymond Green tried his damnedest, but dude, that's Anthony Davis. He's the best
Anthony
big in
Davis
the NBA.
is a fucking beast, man.
He's a
I
freak of
mean,
nature, dude.
he just I don't know. I'm happy he stayed
And
healthy, knock on wood. But yeah, like you said, who's gonna guard him on the Warriors?
mhm.
It's
And this playoff series, man, I feel like we are seeing the emergence of the Great White Hope, Austin Reeves. He is that guy, bro. He is
he's a
him.
beast, man.
He is
Yeah,
him for two playoff series in a row. This man contributed
about
in
to
a
get
big way
paid.
too. In a big way. Did you see the closeout game 6? This man was unstoppable. Like he was making half court shots at the end of the buzzer and just making smart plays. Like holy crap! Like he is like people called Alex Caruso LeBron's best role player. Whatever teammate. Nah, dude. I think it's Austin Reeves now because at least Austin Reeves, he might not have the level of defense that Alex Caruso has, but man, I would trade that in for that offense, man. He has a 3-point shot, a midi, off the dribble, step back. Like he has it all, in my
Yeah,
opinion. He
yeah,
has it all. And we saw it in
yeah.
person too. We saw it in
Right,
person,
we
so we know
did.
we know how we know what he's like, man. He is him.
He's a phenomenal player, man. That's another guy that you just got to be happy for. And another thing, another weird thing to say is you're happy for Lakers fans. Um, their luck might end soon because of the Nuggets, but I mean,
What a
I don't
run!
know,
What a
man.
run! This is something for them to build on. I mean, they have
Yeah,
to because they have what maybe 2 years left of LeBron's like father prime time
yeah,
before he really starts declining. Like, which is crazy because numbers he's putting up now, like you would think he's still on a steady trajectory, but eventually he's going to fall off, which is crazy to say about LeBron.
it's gonna be weird to see if if and when that happens. I mean, who knows? But
So we gotta cherish the best players we have while they're
yeah,
around, because Michael Jordan had his retirement, and we thought the game would never be the same again. But then Kobe Bryant came along,
yeah,
revitalized basketball for another generation. And then LeBron comes in, revitalizes another generation of basketball fans. And then once LeBron leaves, it's like we're all set. We got Luca, we got, I mean, KD may be the next one after LeBron, but that's
got
why we got to
Wemby.
just check. We got Wemby now. Oh God,
I
sorry,
I can't wait. I can't wait to see.
it's
I
just the
mean, I know.
craziness, the craziness that happened here, bro. Like the craziness when they got the number one pick. Like instantly on the news, you just see, oh, Spurs this, Spurs that, has some fireworks lighting up here, and then I was out and about, and I just saw a bunch of Spurs flags going around. I saw season tickets were like going up in price now, and like it's gonna be a party out here in San Antonio for this NBA season.
Yeah,
I can only imagine how much tickets are gonna be once the Bulls come out in town.
no doubt. But
Yeah,
anyway, we're gonna go ahead and end it there. Not much else to talk about right now. Gonna upload the video. By the time I upload this video, game one of the Heat and Celtics will have been over. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll see you guys next time for our recap of the both East and Western Conference finals.
and
Thank you
possibly a
guys.
finals preview, right? We're gonna give them a
Yeah,
finals preview. We'll give them a finals preview, unless like we can catch before game one or something. But we'll give the audience some sort of preview of something.
yeah. Why not? All right.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching. And please like and subscribe, share our video, and I'll see you guys next time.
Peace out.